Guys, I'm sure all of us had that one toxic friend that had an impact on our life. Often at times we just say, oh, that person was toxic. I'm so glad they're out of my life. But what I believe, anything can be used for good, even these negative experiences we have of other people. And today I want to share about the lessons I learned about my ex toxic best friend, who I've called in previous videos Tio. That was his nickname. Obviously, his real name was Theo. To help you guys understand what a toxic, abusive relationship is, even with guy friends. And if you're in one, hopefully that would encourage you to get out of there. And hi, if you're new here, I'm Cahir. I'm here to take you one step closer to self love. So, the biggest thing about all this like negativity or toxic people, it shows us the contrast. So, seeing what we don't want really amplifies what we do want. That's one positive way of using a negative or unpreferred thing happening in your life. So, like with any abusive relationship, because it did start becoming an abusive friendship, the beginnings were good, humble beginnings. I remember in early middle school, also like late elementary school or whatever, like fifth, sixth grade, that time, I also didn't have a large number of friends, not a lot of, let's say, healthy friends. But Theo took an interest in me because I was also a gamer. I like science fiction. And funny enough, the best thing out of that friendship, he introduced me to Halo. Because without him, I probably wouldn't have been a Halo fan and been shown that universe and also the expanded universe, which I really loved reading. And it's such a big difference as a kid, that you're out there struggling to get friends, you feel like this loner, this outsider, and some kid starts talking to you, inviting you to his house to have sleepovers. It's nice, right? But this is the thing people don't understand about abusive relationships. It's that most of the time it can be good, right? You get that good feelings, but like, let's say the 20%, or other times it's just this dreadful, horrific thing, and you don't know what you're gonna get, right? That's what makes it hard to leave. And it's the same with Tio. At least in the beginning, I remember it was okay, just a guy you played games with. He also, I think we kind of trauma bonded that he was being bullied by the quote unquote jocks. We had this whole thing like, the jocks versus the nerds. But then he saw, I don't know, my sensitivity or vulnerability or whatever, and he started putting me down. He came up with this nickname to call me Dork Monkey, which, it's just a ridiculous thing. But essentially, Dork Monkey meant like, oh, you're stupid, you're a moron. Like constant put downs. And I would get angry. I'll tell him to stop, but he would never stop. I do remember feeling really down one day, and I told Mama about it, and she she told me, she's like, "Don't be such a doormat." Oh, thank you, so helpful. If I could go back in time and speak as a healthy parent, I would flip it on the more positive. You are worth so much more to be with someone that puts you down. It's not good. It's not healthy. And you are a wonderful child, and you deserve to be around good, healthy people. Obviously, I didn't hear that. And the thing is, I don't want to villainize Theo. I make sometimes call him the silly nickname, because I know where he comes from. Right? He's like, if you compare my parents are saints compared to his. They were both obese, angry, vile, especially his dad. Insults, yelling, and they also lived in poverty. They drove this like very beat up car. They saved every penny. The house was a total mess, guys. Dishes everywhere. The stuff they ate was, as a chubby kid, it was like, oh yeah, but man, heart attack city. Let's just put it that way. So not healthy, didn't have healthy bodies or healthy minds. So of course Theo was super obese, like biggest kid in our class, and I think at some level that made me feel better about myself. Though even though I was pretty chubby, I was nowhere near his size. And obviously now as an adult, I see that it's not his fault, and it wasn't also my fault for being chubby. It's just if your parents don't know what a healthy diet is, how are you supposed to know what a healthy diet is? And I can see clearly now that I was enmeshed with him, meaning there wasn't a fine line between like Cahir and Theo. It was just like we were together all the time, the unhealthy amount, like especially I think 6th and 7th grade when I didn't have any other friends. That's when I spent the most time, obviously. And you think it's like he's got a friend, but like we did like, and this is the thing, he would always like invite me over and stuff. I don't remember me really initiating that. I mean, to be honest, I think I was his only friend as well, because he was very off-putting, very arrogant, because he was pretty smart. Like he was a good student, but he thought the world about himself. That he's like, oh, I am a genius, like that kind of level of arrogance. Like, oh, these dumb jocks have nothing against my brains, like that kind of. And like, so kids really didn't like him. I was a bit more agreeable. I was more of, the nice guy. I was. I don't want to be mean. I didn't stand up for myself because I didn't know how to do that. But I do remember towards like eighth grade, when I was getting into Abraham Hicks and spirituality, I was starting to love myself more. I remember it was one of our last sleepovers, and I said like, hey Theo, I'm actually starting to love myself more. And he said, that's gay. And what made it easier for me to break away that friendship was, one, I did start developing better friendships. That's when I started having stronger relationships with Yusuf, made videos about him, and Mikoi, and they were with me when the relationship was starting to break away. I guess that's how you say it, because I don't remember if there was like, well, actually, there was a solid moment where I was like, okay, it's over. He sent me an Xbox voice message, something berating me about something. I don't remember what exactly it was, but I remember it was very malicious, like putting me down. And I sent a reply. I was very stern. I was like, don't you ever say that stuff to me again. And then he sent me a voice, and I'm like, oh, you little pussy, you want to fight? something like that. And we joined in, was back in the day, those party chats, right, on Xbox Live. And I just wailed at him, top of my voice, just yelling, telling him off, saying, I don't want to be friends with you. And the screwed up thing is, like, my dad was in the room. And he just didn't do anything, didn't ask me. I think maybe he did ask, what was that about night? So it's like, oh, I had a fight with Theo. I was like, oh, okay. So what I could see now, that what I really needed back then was someone, a healthy emotional person, to let me process my emotions and to actually listen to me, really, how am I feeling with Theo, what's going on. And I got that from my friends. But thank goodness I had some people in my corner. But they were still teenagers too, man. And I remember Theo tried to salvage the friendship. He was like, "Oh, let's meet at McDonald's, whatever, and talk about it." And I said, "Yeah, I'm not interested." And he sent me a message on Facebook like, "I order you to give me back all the games and books that I gave to you." Like literally, it's like, this is an order, which showed what he thought our relationship was. And this is the thing. I remember this was in April because this was during the Smolensk disaster in Poland. A bunch of the major politicians, like the president, were on a plane and they crashed in Smolensk. So like a big deal in Poland. And I remember that, and that was like around like the same week. We agreed to like that I would give him back the stuff he borrowed. I'm like, damn. I thought he was gonna be like say something about it when we met, but thankfully he didn't. But he did say, because I was like 10 or 15 minutes late. But I don't remember if I did it on purpose, but still, I was kind of like, yeah, you wait for me, bitch. That was a little petty back then. But, and he tried, he ended it with like a snarky remark like, "Oh, can't even bother being on time, huh?" Something, something stupid like that. And I could have, yelled at him, told him off again, but I just gave him a fake smile, handed him his shit, and I left. And the funny thing is, he was actually supposed to be in a class with me in sophomore year, but thankfully, thank the universe, he moved to different schools. So then I never saw him ever again. Now I know I laughed a bit, and and it's easy to villainize someone in my memories like that. But now I see we were both two wounded children, and we were just hurting each other because that's what we knew. Not to condone his actions, but this is the thing it taught me is like you attract the love, even if it's like friendship, right? It's an expression of love in some way. You attract the love that you feel you deserve. And there was some part of me that it was normal to grovel, to be submissive, and it took a lot of courage to say no. You can't treat me like that anymore. And I implore you guys, if you're in any sort of relationship like that, to get out of it, because you deserve so much more. You deserve so much better. You deserve friendships and people that nurture you. And it might feel uncomfortable to leave or to stand up for yourself because it's something we haven't done before. But it's the healthier choice. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please subscribe for more healing content like this. May the Holy Spirit light up your path wherever it takes you. Take care. May the Holy Spirit light up your path wherever it takes you. Take care.